Okay, today something begins to shift. The volume becomes lower. Our heartbeat begins to slow. And we begin to reach for something real. Something that feels like home. Today marks the beginning of a brand new season. A powerful invitation to come back to ourselves. To get honest with what we need. To let go of the roles we've been performing and tend to the roots we've been neglecting. This energy is asking us to move with intention, to feel, to remember, to reconnect with people and spaces and parts of ourself that bring in peace and love, comfort, a sense of belonging. So join me as we gain an understanding of how to embrace this energy. And by the end of our time together, it's my intention that you now have the tools, the insight to go forward with clarity, with confidence, with love. So hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you so much for taking the time out and being here with me today. Thank you for all the positive, loving support you guys send me each and every day. You guys rock. I send it right back to you. Welcome to your daily focus, June the 20th, 2025. So today we have the energy of the 20. The energy of the 20 is, well, it is about death and rebirth. It is allowing something in our lives to stay in our rearview mirror and give birth to a brand new destiny is the word I'm hearing, but a brand new path, a goal, a desire, a passion comes out. And if you have been actively paying attention to this dream, to this goal, you will find that rewards come your way during this period of time. It's like we are at a fork in the road, so to speak. And our decisions now and our intentions that we set now determines how our future will play out. 2 plus 0 is a 2, and the 2 is all about, well, yeah, it is about coming together. It is about relationships and couples and partnerships, but I think it's more about the magic when we look at the numerology of 2 for collective energy. It's about seeing the magic and experiencing the magic that is around us at all times. And I think it's very important under this energy to go within and quietly contemplate the magic that you already possess. Your talents, your abilities, what makes you, you. If we look at the daily numerology, it would be a 6 plus a 2 plus a 9, giving us a 17. And that is about making the impossible possible. We see the way forward now in a way that we couldn't perceive it before. We start to feel this energized raising of our hope, our belief in ourselves, knowing that we can do it, knowing that we can step into those possibilities that lay in wait for us, to know that we are more than capable, that we possess the magic to get it done. 1 plus 7 is an 8, and that is the energy of creating prosperity. It's a money, it's a wealth number. It's about growing our stature within the community. And through our actions and through our words, we either gain or lose respect on a day like today. So, walk with a sense of integrity. Walk in your truth under an 8 energy. Sun is in Gemini for most of the day, okay? And it moves into Cancer in the evening. Or perhaps for you are the very, maybe beginnings of tomorrow. But we're going to talk about it today. Our moon is in Aries. And, yeah, so anyways, I do have a blog out that you can learn more. Actually, I actually have 2 blogs out. So, but more importantly is in these blogs, I've broken down the energy by your zodiac sign. So you can reference your sun, your moon, and your rising signs. If you do all three, you really get an in-depth picture, a very personal approach when you weave those ones together of what this energy means for you, how you can reap the rewards going forward for yourself. So I'll leave the links in the description box. Sun in Cancer, it brings in this soft energy, and it's a turning inwards for us. Okay, Gemini we were all out there, right? We were experimenting, and we were being led with curiosity, and there was all kinds of things to learn and do and try and experience and all kinds of ideas. And now we get this call to come home to what really matters. Okay, so, we had a season of outward energy, of mental stimulation, of connection. And now the sun slips into Cancer, and it draws our attention to the places that feed our soul, that protect our peace, that remind us of who we are when the world stills. Who are you in that moment? There's a turning point in the rhythm of our soul. As the sun enters Cancer, another beautiful energy is created, and that is the longest day of the year. That is the summer solstice. So a portal opens, one that invites us to shift gears, to change direction, to reconnect with our deeper truth. And maybe we haven't been able to because we have been too busy to hear, or maybe it's been too loud to hear. Now, the solstice doesn't come in and ask us to do more. It asks us to feel more, to care more, to return to what matters, and to root ourselves in love and truth, in belonging. And if you are the southern hemisphere, you are experiencing the winter solstice, right? So it is your longest night and shortest day. Whether we realize it or not, the seeds of the next 6 months are being planted now. So how we honor this threshold shapes the quality of the harvest to come. This is the heartbeat of the year. We're asked to listen closely, to make intentional choices about how we want to grow, what we want to step into. And with this being the peak of the solar energy, it's also a powerful time to choose what we'd like to see flourish in our life. What parts of our life do we want to inject it with love and caring and compassion, and grow it with those things in mind? So look at maybe a relationship or a project, or maybe just your own inner peace. But the summer solstice is not about just a celebration of the sun. It's a moment of illumination. The sun enters Cancer, and it marks the beginning of something more personal, something more emotional. We're reminded to come back to ourselves, to stop, to slow down, to soften, to start to plant seeds that will support not just our goals, but our wellness, our wholeness. And this moment is where we choose the tone for the rest of the year, the next 6 months. So let's not rush through it. Let's honor it. Now, Cancer's not here to put on a show. It doesn't ask us to be bold for the sake of it. Okay, we return to the waters of intuition and emotion and sensuality and security. So over the next month, we're going to be really asked to tune in deeply to look at how we can nurture, how we can feel, how we can protect, how we can grow, where we are rooted. Maybe the places, the people that feel like home. It doesn't need to necessarily be a physical space. It's where you feel that comfort, that safety, that love, that sense of belonging, a relationship, maybe just a feeling of self-love, being okay with just being with yourself. This energy reminds us that everything we seek, everything we're looking for, we need to first find within us. So our focus shifts towards emotional truth, security, belonging, care. It's a cardinal water sign, so very much about emotion. So get around water, especially when you want to meditate, when you want to journal, when you want to have that conversation seemingly with yourself. You want to sort things out. You want to talk things over with yourself. And know that we are in the beginning stages of initiating a new season through feeling rather than force. Okay, it's more sensitive. It's not out there. It's not a rush, but it's very powerful in its ability to hold space, to maybe heal a wound, to nurture what matters most. I think of this one boss that he spoke so softly, and he would pause for very long periods of time. And yet everybody in the room would just be so in tune to what he was going to say next. He didn't have to be forceful about what he was telling us to do as a boss to an employee. But he was very soft, he was very direct, he was very compassionate about what he was asking everybody to do. I mean, but without compassion, without giving in or anything. Like, this is your job, you have to do it. So get out there and do it. Cancer energy heightens our intuition, sharpens our emotional radar. Absolutely. It turns our attention inward. It turns it into more home, and whether that is literal, whether that is symbolic. And there's this beautiful creativity to this energy. It inspires us to build, to grow, to give birth to create, and not for attention, not for the applause, but to express something deeply personal. To stop moving through life as if it's a performance, a production, but more as a sanctuary for your growth, for your well-being, for your strength, and for your courage. These are the times when we become the most powerful. When we can bend our courage into this Cancerian energy. Cancer will ask us, how do we really feel? Stop for a second. How do you really feel? You say you feel like that, but do you feel like that? Is that the truth? Why did we say that? Why did we answer in such a way? Why did we okay it? Why did we deny it? Use this time to slow down and listen to your voice within. Nurture yourself and those around you, absolutely. And channel your emotion into some kind of creativity, like art or music or writing or anything creative, really, to express what words don't always say or can't say. There are no words for it. This energy is less about doing and more about being present in the moment. And seeing the beauty, seeing the magic that lies around us, and utilizing those things to move ourselves forward. Okay, now, sometimes we can cling to the past and old pain. Cancer is very much about memories, and it can stir up nostalgia, longing, old wounds. So, if so, use this time to heal, okay? Not to reattach to those feelings, but to understand your growth since those experiences, how you've used that wisdom, that knowledge. We could hyper-focus on others at a cost to oneself. So, and don't get me wrong, caring is beautiful and it's mandatory, but not if it empties your cup. Okay, so make sure that your giving comes from a full cup. Absolutely. The energy is soft. It's not weak. It asks us to be brave enough to feel. Sometimes we don't feel. We don't go into the emotion. We fluff over it. We get very logical about it very quickly. We don't allow that emotion to come out because we don't know where it's going. I did a reading for a girl once, and I looked at the cards and I looked her in the eye and I said, you have been being so strong and so brave and telling everybody that everything's great and everything's all right and everything's beautiful and it's sunshine and unicorns and rainbows. I said, and you are so terrified of stopping to take a breath, to realize that you can't even cry when you are all alone because you are afraid of what that emotion, that feeling might bring out. And you are fearful of the fact that you may not be able to turn it off. That it's so immense, that it's so keeping your heart trapped in some way. So it does ask us to be brave enough to feel, to nurture, to protect what we value, especially when the world feels loud. The sun moves into Cancer, reminded of real strength, real courage. And sometimes real strength and real courage, it lives in softness. The courage isn't always loud. And sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is just come home to ourselves, to nourish ourselves, to listen to our hearts, to take time to care deeply for ourselves. And yes, the people around us, the people we love. It's the beginning of a new emotional season, a time to retreat, a time to reset, a time to reemerge. Yes, all of it. But we will reemerge stronger, softer, and more grounded in our true strength, our unwavering courage than ever before. Okay, let's turn to the cards. Who do we have? Oh my gosh, we had the Empress. Yes, it is a time to give birth, to create, to invent, to understand where we want to grow, the beauty and the harmony and the feeling of home, the feeling of belonging in our world, in our environments, in our relationships with ourselves. Okay, underlying energy for today is the Ace of Wands. Another ace appears for us. New beginnings, new starts, but we want the balance. We don't just want to step into things. We want to go with the flow. We want it to feel right. We want it to be aligned with what our intuition, what our heart, what our mind is also telling us. But in that order. We don't just want to follow our heart without checking the facts. So we do want to bring logic in, but it is a time to allow the flow, to allow the balance to occur. You might have been just on this treadmill, okay, and you're trying to get the promotion at work and everything has kind of been geared to that, and you've had the conversations with everybody, and then all of a sudden the sun moves into Cancer and you go, I miss my kids. I miss my life. I miss taking the afternoon and having that barbecue and having the friends over, and we end up playing games or watching a good movie together, or we just sit around and we talk for hours. I mean, I miss it. We come home to ourselves. We tell ourselves, that we have to do these things, but this is a time to breathe and say, I don't feel whole because I don't have a balance anymore between my personal life and my work life. My goals to grow in my career towards versus my goals towards my family, my friends, my community. Okay, so it's about understanding that we may have kind of tilted the scales somehow without even realizing it. And so it's a time to maybe let off on the gas a little bit, put on the brakes a little bit, and understand what we've been missing by going after or putting a lot of energy into certain areas of our life. We have the High Priestess, so the magic around us, the magic within us. Yes, the High Priestess shows up to say there is magic all around you. Now, if you don't believe in magic, it probably won't happen for you. But if you believe in magic, then expect Expect the miracle. Expect the aha moment. Expect the epiphany. Expect the revelation. Expect a good thing to just happen, seemingly out of nowhere, and just allowing yourself to breathe. And it might just be one sentence that you overhear, or the song that came on next on the radio. Whatever it is, pay attention to it. Okay? The high priestess will work through all kinds of things to bring in the magic around you, to offer you protection and love and guidance. But please, under this energy, go within. Understand the magic that you already possess. We have the Two of Cups, so new partnerships, new ideas, new pathways, new relationships, new environments. And it'll be very different from what you are accustomed to. It'll be like complete opposites, perhaps. In a relationship, you might meet somebody who speaks a whole different language, or comes from a whole different part of the world, has different customs, beliefs, traditions, values. Or if it's a job, you didn't even know this job existed, but it looks like fun, so let's give it a try. Or some community effort, you didn't even know these people got together every week. My gosh, you've been missing out. And then we have the Hermit. Well, when's the last time the Hermit's been out? My goodness, it has to be last year, or maybe the beginning of this year. But the Hermit's been hiding on us, and the Hermit comes out today under this energy. Well, we better pay attention to the Hermit. The Hermit sits in, I see a Hermit as going into the desert or going into the cave, or and sitting in silence and understanding where they've been, the lessons they've learned, the things that they've walked through, and the wisdom they gained because of it, their accomplishments, their growth. And then, as they sit in the presence and understand what they already have to work with to go forward, they set a vision for new intentions, to new paths. And not just jump into it, but understanding a little bit of what needs to happen, what direction to walk. And to allow our wisdom and our heart to light the way. So give yourself the time to really think things through. To understand what you already have available to you that maybe you're not utilizing. To soften a little bit and let your creativity flow, your personality flow a little bit. Allow a little bit of romance or a little spark of joy into places where you don't often have the joy. You know, as you're driving to work, keep telling yourself that you're going to play all day, you're going to play all day, you're going to play all day. And then when you get to work and you look at the building, you say, I'm here to play, I'm here to play, I'm here to play, I'm here to have fun. I'm going to enjoy this experience today. It's going to be a riot. People are going to be telling jokes. People are going to be jovial. People are going to smile. People are going to communicate. And we're just going to soften and grow those relationships today. And then you walk in, and as you say this every day, as you start to go in, you know what? You'll start to believe that that is the environment you're walking into. And you watch your days just becoming a little bit better. Somebody pays it forward to you at work for some reason. Something good happens. A great story is shared. Everybody laughs. The stress is gone, perhaps. Or the stress has lessened. It's amazing what we can do when we... Okay, let your love become your beacon. Demanded to be seen here. I didn't even get to really shuffle the cards. It jumped out. 42 is a 6 energy. That is a love energy. 24, 42. Let your love be a beacon. Well, I think this is a very appropriate card for today. Let's see what it has to say. This one really doesn't come up all that much. Or at least I'm not recalling it. Look at all that detail on that card. I just love it. Okay. Lead with love. When you enter a new situation, see love paving the way. If it's a tense situation or a work environment, do a visualization exercise of filling that space with bright, beautiful love for everyone involved, including yourself. Acknowledge what is going on and be willing to change. How are you approaching this? Communication will be harmonious, and you will have a greater prospect to create what you're looking for. Focus on the light within you. Imagine this light shining out from you. Your inner light will permit you to see the world with new eyes and learn new things every day of your life. So let your love be your beacon. Oh my goodness. I just love the way Spirit works. How, regardless of what energy we're looking at, it really all has the same theme. It gives us the same direction to walk. Okay. We have the unicorn. Believe. You just can't make this stuff up. Okay. We will go to the unicorn. Believe, magic, wish, unexpected. Believe in yourself, and there will come a day when others will have no choice but to believe with you. Unicorn tells you that sometimes you get so caught up in the reality and stresses of life that you forget that there is magic all around you, but especially within you. Remember to keep wishing and believing in those wishes. It's when you forget to wish, when you forget to believe, that you stop receiving. And it may be a little, it may be big, but surprises and unexpected gifts happen when you least expect them. Being open to the unexpected turns in the road of life is an important part of your success. And by letting go of some of the control, allowing yourself to ride through your life unplanned, but with a vision, a dream, a faith, a belief, the twists and turns may in fact lead you to the most wonderful of surprises. So, believe. Believe that you can make the possible out of the impossible. That you see the way forward, that you open your heart to love and allow that love to guide you and to go with the flow. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.